Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to address the problems that you think are problems are not really your problems. We are going to be talking about shifting the habits that you have. It's time to stop playing small. It's time to play a bigger game. Take those risks and bet on yourself. We think that some of the problems we encounter in our lives are our problems, and I'll never forget a vocal coach I was working with, and she said, "Deb, your problems are not your problem." And I, for the life of me, was like, what is she talking about? You know, your problem's not your problem. Well, over time and more personal growth and development, it's not the problem, it's our perception of a problem. Do we want to frame it in a way that it's negative and it's happening to us, or actually happening for us in a learning and growth? It has been known that, I do have a stubborn streak. And if we actually put that in perspective, it is called determination. We don't have to see stubbornness as a bad thing, especially when you can open that can and really evaluate some of the things that you're being stubborn about. And if you're being stubborn about your values and what's important to you, by all means, I don't think it's a bad thing. It's called determination. It's called perseverance. It's called resilience, and it's called strength. So as you reflect on the past year, I want you to really think about what worked for you. What were the things that were going well? And you're like, Deb, come on. Things going well? I was challenged in so many ways. Yeah, so was I. So was other people around you, all in different ways, in the way for their own personal growth and learning, because that is the stepping stone. And as you go through these challenges or adversities or opportunities, as I like to view them, you'll look behind you and you'll see that a path was formed from all these stepping stones. Now, when we really think about this past year, think about what was that challenge that you could shift to an opportunity for you. See, these events are what helps you dig deep, helps you really pull into some of the characteristics and strengths and things that you didn't even know you had. Are you living your life fully because you're meant for more, or are you living half a life? Let that sit with you. What I want to talk about is the habits that you have in place for your wealth, health, well-being, your relationships. Time's up. It is time for you to move into 2022, to really dive in, take control of the wheel, and really set yourself up to become the best version of yourself. Start getting those results. You have excuses or results. You have reasons or results. What are you going to choose? See, often we think, we can blame the weather, blame the economy, start complaining about different things. Oh, it's someone else's fault. We start pointing fingers, and then we see these three fingers pointing back at us and thinking, oh my gosh, Deb, what just happened here? And it's about recognizing. Number one is having awareness that it's happening. And when you have awareness, you have the ability to make a change. And it takes the smallest shift to make a big difference. Now, I really want to impress upon you that it isn't going to be easy, because you're going to default to old habits and old patterns of behavior. But I don't want that for you. That's why I'm creating this podcast. I want you to recognize what is the awareness you have about the results that you're having. See, because your wealth and health are often tied together. Your relationships and your health are often tied together. Your wealth and relationships are often tied together. But what is the story you keep telling yourself about what you're capable of? Do you tell yourself you're no good with money, so you pass it on to your spouse or someone else? Or do you take control? Do you think that relationships, whether they be friendships, whether they be interpersonal relationships at work or in your business, do you think they take care of themselves? No, there's an investment. And there's an investment in yourself, your health. Now, I tell people, if you can't take 20 minutes in your day to take care of your health, get your body moving, there's a problem. There is a significant problem into today's society if busy is more important than taking care of who you are. Have you determined what's important to you? We really need to start looking at the way we're choosing to live. Now, I talked to you about awareness. Now I want to move to reflection. Now, how many of you take time in your day to actually reflect on the events in your day, the interactions that you've had with others, how you've reacted to situations? Now, when we take a time to reflect, this is where our greatest growth and learning comes from. Thinking of the scenarios and situations in which we've navigated change or these interpersonal relationships with our communication. Now, when we think about reflection, we should be looking at what's working, what's not working, what could I be doing differently, and what do I need to stop doing? Because often we need to do less, more, or just change something. Do less. Can you imagine? How many of us, when we think a situation's not going the way we want it to, we put in so much extra energy when we actually should be taking our foot off the gas pedal. Now, I want you to take time to reflect, journal it out if possible, because reflection is where that greatest growth starts to come from. Now, awareness, reflection, and then C is for compassion. So I'm going to start spelling out a word, arch, actually, and we're at arc. So compassion and empathy are key in you growing as not only as a person, but also offering that compassion to others. But it starts with self-compassion, the kind of words that you speak to yourself. Are you being your own best friend? Or are you letting the inner critic being the dominant voice in your mind, allowing you to ruminate over situations, telling you where you screwed up, telling you where you didn't do things right? Well, here's the thing. I want you to stand up within yourself and say, no, I'm not going to listen to this inner critic. I am going to tell myself affirming messages that I am capable. I am what I see myself to be, and I can do this. The empowerment of your own voice. No one can empower you more than your own voice telling you what you have possible for you, what opportunities lie ahead for you. So we have awareness, reflection, and compassion. Be impeccable with your word, not only to others, but to yourself. Do not allow yourself to say anything against yourself. Be that encourager, be that empowering voice that tells you that you can do it. Be your own support as well. And often you can also challenge yourself to be that best version of yourself. Now, H is for happiness. And you're like, happiness? Yeah, you're in charge of your own happiness. Just recently, one of my kids said, hey, why are you always happy? Well, you know what? Happiness is a choice. Not every day is happy, but I know how to shift my state. And it's taken me years of practice to do so. But what's the alternative? Do you want to be miserable? I certainly don't. Do you want to be a grumpus? I certainly don't. I choose to be happy because happiness is a choice. And when I stay in a state of happiness, not that I don't get sad or have other emotions or anger or anything else, but I choose not to stay in those situations. See, everything's temporary in life, but I put myself in a space where I can have more of what I love. And I want to do what matters to me, what's important to me, and has impact on the world. I don't just want to make an impression. I want to make impact. I want to have people talking about what they can do to be the best version of themselves. Offer yourself that compassion, and others will give compassion to you and empathy as well. And H is that happiness factor. There's nothing other than that peace of mind and that happiness within, with truly being happy with who you are and where you're at this moment. Doesn't mean you're staying here, because everything's temporary. You are moving on. You are stepping toward your goals. And it's up to you to be aware, to reflect, to be compassionate, and choose to be happy. Now, with this arch concept of taking you to your success, I also want you to think about, what is the story? What is the narrative you've been telling yourself about what's possible for you? All it takes is a few tweaks of some habits that are making an impact. Again, like 3 days, 7 days, track your habits for your health, your wealth, your well-being, your relationships. How are you investing in you so that you can make more than an impression, that you can start making an impact in the world? It is about having these conversations, having connection with others, and starting the change within. Look at the habits that you have that are not serving you, and look at the habits that you can shift that perspective of things happening for you versus to you. Because the solutions you're looking for are not by focusing on a problem. It's by focusing on the habits that have led to those problems. And they're so subtle that you might not even realize it. It might be that you just blindly leave things to other people to take care of, or you choose to ignore other situations and it piles up and you have to replace things versus fix them temporarily. Like, really look at your habits. Really look at how you're communicating with others. Look at what you can do moving forward to empower yourself, to really step into who you see yourself to be. Isn't it time to step into your potential and not allow the world just to happen to you? But now it's chance for you to have everything happen for you. They'll tell you that you have the Midas touch. They'll tell you that you move through challenges and you see opportunities. Why? Because you started trusting yourself. You started choosing that your narrative was more important, that empowering narrative. Your own cheerleader is telling you that what you're capable of, what's possible, and you've got this. When you start taking everything in your own control and realizing that, we all have 24 hours in a day and we all have an expiry date, but we just don't know what it is. Do you want to be on your deathbed looking back thinking, I should have taken a risk on myself? I should have trusted myself because I know what I was capable of, but I didn't take a chance? Are you going to live 25%, 55%, 75%? Or are you going to go all in? Are you going to believe in yourself? Are you going to set yourself up for the success that you know you are?